Hey guys, thanks for joining me in the shop today. Rob from Stop Time. We're going to talk about Lionel post-war, and I'm a space and military guy. I love the space and military stuff. And today we're going to talk about the 175 Lionel rocket launcher. Now this is, a cool accessory. Now this was made in 1958 to 1960 time period. Again, this was the time when, if you think back before we put a man on the moon and John Kennedy challenged us by the end of the decade to put a man on the moon, we were starting the space race. And I often talk about Lionel. A lot of the stuff they made in that period wasn't prototypical, but they were making something that had play value. And, at that point in time, you look back in the 60s, you think, and even into the the 70s, but you look at the TV shows and Lost in Space and Star Trek. I mean, this was the space race of the late 50s and early 60s. So again, wasn't maybe prototypical, or maybe it was on a smaller scale, but Lionel come out with the 175 rocket launcher. This was a really neat piece. They also made cars that kind of went along with it. You had cars that hauled the rockets, and I'll go through all that, but today we'll stay with just the launcher. But this had a control panel, and you would set the timer, and then obviously the rocket would be on there, and then with the countdown, from 10, 9, 8, it would shoot the rocket off. So a really cool piece. It looks neat on your layout if it's a stationary or if you want to play with it and actually work it. Now, when you get into this piece, the interesting thing about it is this, obviously this comes off of it, it's on tracks, and so this is a real fragile, there's a lot of real fragile railings on this piece, and that's a lot of the value is in that. If you look, it has a lot of the typical real fragile railings, and like I talked in the past, Lionel would take pieces and use one piece from like a searchlight, and they would combine it into this. So this has a lot of the stationary pieces. You'll probably recognize it from different accessories, from the crane to the actual structure. But again, so when you look at these pieces to buy, the value is a lot of times is in the actual little intricate railings and that type of thing with the structure. Again, this is a metal base, so you could have some corrosion issues there too. And then again, the rocket. There's original rockets, and there's also reproduction rockets, which is good. I would definitely, if you're going to use it, probably use the reproduction just so you don't damage. The original one does say built by Lionel, U.S. Navy. Again, so really fun piece. Again, I got the catalog here in the 58, 9. Catalogs and 60s, there's a lot of reference, and you'll see pictures of it in the catalogs, and again right there in the catalog there. So it was cool stuff, and if you're like me, if you're a fan of the space and military, this was one of the accessories they made for that. They did a lot of the cars, obviously with the rockets and that shoot and stuff, but this was actually an accessory. So if you're a late post-war guy, 50s, 60s, this is definitely a piece you'd want to put on your layout. Hope you got some information. Like I said, when you look at these, just keep in mind there's a lot of delicate pieces, and you want to look over the structure and the crane and make sure it all looks intact and nothing's broke. And again, the structure's metal, and then your control panel, your wiring, original rocket. That's what you look for. Hope you got some information, and if you love this kind of stuff like I do, it's a lot of fun. Hey, if you're ever in Akron, Ohio, and Northeast Ohio, look me up. I'm Rob from Stop Time. I'm in Norton. I'm about 15 to 20 minutes west of Akron. I'm right off I-76. I have a retail brick and mortar store. It's Stop Time. My phone number is 330-825-4206. And you can always look some of my product up on eBay under Stop Time Co. STOPTIMECO. And remember, Lionel is an investment in happiness. It's a great hobby. It's a lot of fun. Hey, happy model railroading, guys. Thanks.